First story. Wife of 4 years had an affair with my stepfather. Haven't said any of this out loud or typed it out to anyone besides my family and therapist. Here goes nothing. I'm gonna give the full background so everything falls into place. My wife, 26F, and I, 26M, have been together since we were both in 7th grade middle school. We went through all of high school and the same college together with zero breaks or time offs. We always had a strong connection and loved each other throughout those 9 school years. Everyone in our classes knew we would get married. Got voted that at prom. LOL. I proposed our junior year of college and we got married after graduating. We were both 22. My parents got divorced when I was 6. Then my mom remarried when I was 15. Mom was 48 and he was 52. He was a basketball player, played 4 years at a D1 college, and played overseas for 5+ years. Never was good enough for G League or NBA, but he had married my mother after all that and is a roofer ever since. He is 63 now. Me personally, I'm 5'6" and never played any sports throughout school. Don't get me wrong, I always made sure to stay in shape and always went to the gym regularly my entire life. But I never competitive sports mainly because of my height. Anyways, so basically my wife has known my stepfather for as long as I have. Anytime he would see me, she would be with me. Fast forward now, we're 4 years into marriage and 1 child, 2 years old. My mother lives less than 5 minutes from us, so we always see them. My wife is an engineer and I work in pharmaceutical sales. My schedule is always different daily, but I'm mainly always working 8-4, most of the days coming after 4. One day I had nearly half my sales closed early and was headed home around 1. I pull in and see my stepfather's car parked in the street down from us. At first, I thought, oh, he knows someone in the neighborhood. I go home and I always walk in through the side door, not the garage, quicker to get in. Coincidentally, there's no Ring camera there. I walk in and right away just hear loud sus noises. I go upstairs quietly, open our bedroom door, and see my 26F wife having sex with my 63-year-old stepfather in our bed. The worst part was they couldn't even hear me open the door. So it was maybe 12-15 seconds of me just standing there, jaw dropped, speechless, maybe 5, fleet 6 away from them. Her only single repeated answer to why she did it was, I just needed something different. Until this day, I never know when it started. I keep assuming minimum 5+ years since they have known each other for 11 years. I'll probably never know. Going through the divorce process now, and honestly, I felt 100 times worse for my mother. The pain she's also in is terrible. And yes, I did get a paternity test and the child is mine. But in summary, I never felt being less of a man till now, but working on a better self. Second story. She, F23, emotionally cheated on me. M20. How do I emotionally detach? I, M20, met a girl, F23, last year in uni. We were just friends for 7 months. And then she started switching up the tone of our conversations. She started flirting, and like that we started flirting. It seemed like she wanted things to progress. So a month later, I told her I liked her. She was super happy. But then 2 days later she tells me that I'm a really good person but it's best we just stay friends. I was confused, but no resentment. I respected her decision. But she continued to flirt with me, and it was like she still wanted us to be in that mindset. But I held back and kept it to a minimum. Like I said, I had respected her decision of staying friends and just went with the flow. This goes on for 2 months, then she tells me that she's been thinking, and that she likes me back, and goes on talking about relationship stuff. So I thought she came around with her feelings. So we continued flirting and getting physically close, nothing sexual. 2 weeks later, while we were out, I asked her things about progressing the relationship, and she starts getting cold. Told me that her ex, more like FWB, but she's in denial cause she had feelings for him, whom she cut off is texting her. but she doesn't exactly know why. And even though it's not gonna work out at all, she still has feelings for him and stuff, then proceeds to stonewall me for a week. Thing is, she had told me she fully cut off her ex long back. And then she gets all pissed at me and explains how we can't be in a relationship and all that. Almost as if I was coercing her to be in a relationship with me or something. She told her friends the same thing about me too. Again, I was super confused, sad and annoyed, but I let it slide and chose to forget it. Again, a month later, one of her friends gets a date with a dude she had a thing for super long back, and that really made her insecure. And because we hadn't been speaking for a month, she thought the friend would go for me next. And so she starts hitting up my phone, telling me that her ex is out of the picture, and starts flirting with me, love bombing. Basically trying to keep me from not getting with someone else, even though I had no intention to get with anyone else for a bit. But I gave in. So, by this point I've developed deep feelings for her, but she still isn't committing, and all we do is flirt and get things to a good point, and she makes it fall down. She doesn't want to commit. There was a lot of disrespect she gave me, and would never take accountability of anything she did, and wouldn't establish any exclusivity. Basically giving me false hopes so I would stick around. I started learning about attachment theory, and thought she had a dismissive avoidant attachment style. But the more I learned, I figured out that she actually has a fearful avoidant or anxious avoidant attachment style. And I have a secure attachment style that is now leading anxious because of how she has been treating me. Another month goes by, and things start getting sexual between us. We would talk about sex, flirt, she would flash me. She even tried to invite me over to hook up. But I knew I had proper feelings for her and she's being on and off. So I figured it wouldn't be the best idea. 'Cause I wanted proper commitment. Not just some FWB thing. Also, her offer could have been another plot to keep me hooked to her as her source of validation. While she kept doing her things to me, I find out from one of her friends that she still speaks to her ex and is sending him nudes. This breaks my heart, and I decide to just go dry on her, without letting her know what happened, as I didn't want to snitch on my friend. She became confused and annoyed. This actually works out, and the distancing and no contact just came into place naturally. This goes on for 3 months, and then she texts me out of the blue, saying that we need to talk and how me distancing myself is really bothering her and affecting her and all that stuff. So I give in, we have a talk. All the love bombing, flirting, and everything else I mentioned started happening again. And 2 weeks later, during a breakdown, she lets me know that 3 weeks ago, her ex ghosted her. She admitted that her ex was speaking to her all these months, even when she was flirting with me. Her ex also mentioned to her that he hopes she doesn't have any feelings, as he never had any feelings for her at all from the point they met, and their whole thing was just FWB to him. She also tells me she made out with a few other guys in the past months, even though she had told me a while ago that she hadn't met any other dudes. I got really upset. I have feelings for this girl, I'm attached to her, and she keeps hiding things from me, giving half-truths. Basically, she wants me around because no guy has shown her as much respect and love as I have shown her, and she doesn't want to lose that, but for some reason she doesn't want to commit. Obviously I feel used, almost like I'm her emotional safety net, always available to her, her shoulder to cry on, giving her reassurance. I love her. I was hoping for her to come around with her feelings, and that we could be in a relationship. But the fact that she doesn't make her intentions clear, hides things from me out to fear of losing me, and just taking me for granted through taking advantage of my feelings for her, just doesn't sit right with me for obvious reasons. It's emotional cheating, and I really don't even know if she has slept with some dude in the middle of all this either. But I hope for it to be true that she hasn't gone past emotionally cheating. She broke my trust, and broken trust is really hard to rebuild in my opinion. I would be living a very paranoid life every time she's away from me, wondering things like, Who might she be talking to? Has she met anyone? What might she be doing that she would hide from me next? A story of her at the club would make really anxious after all this. So I took up the hardest decision and decided to have a healthy conversation and explained everything to her and that we should go our separate ways. She was upset, started playing the victim card, started saying that I'm accusing her of things and stuff, and that this separation is equally hard for her too. But I had to stand my ground, because I know what she's really afraid of losing is not me, but rather everything I do for her. Now she's annoyed. I'm still upset, although I know I did the right thing. She wouldn't have been good for my mental health and we don't talk anymore. It's been months of no contact now. She reached out once for some random irrelevant question she wanted to ask. I assume it was probably to test the vibe to crawl back. But I just gave dry uninteresting replies and went back to no contact. It's really hard, because I know her attachment issues, trauma, low self-esteem, and insecurities are the reason why she acts this way. Afraid to commit as she feels she may not be good enough, and may get dumped by anyone if she gets too close. Hence, keep everyone at arm's length using her shallow relationships. I truly believe I've seen a sweet, genuine side to her that wants a relationship and closeness, but she just can't get her mind to it. I know her issues shouldn't be my problem, and it shouldn't drag me down. She wasn't good for my mental health, although I love her and she makes me happy too, which is why I ended things with her. We are in no contact, but only time will tell where this ends up for sure though. I don't know what to do. This girl, F23, I'm M20, involved with emotionally cheated on me multiple times, and she wasn't good for my mental health, so I cut her off in a healthy way. It's been a bit more than a month of no contact. She reached out once, I gave dry replies and went back to no contact. It's really hard to emotionally detach, even though I understand why cutting her off is the best decision for me. Third story. Stay-at-home dad needs advice. I have been with my wife 10 years. Married for 5.5, we have an 18-month-old and a 3-year-old. We both worked. I stopped working due to a work injury before we were married. An old injury that she was well aware of. I still had my injury non-taxable settlement payments for 3 years after being married. I drained my savings and we bought a house after we were married. So with a passive income I was the homemaker as well. She finished a master's degree. To prepare to switch careers I went and got a bachelor degree. Then, we had kids. We talked about it and decided that me, Dad, would be best to stay home with the kids mainly because of childcare, her very good job versus me in a new career entry level. Total now I haven't worked in 6 years. She has been the sole breadwinner while I stayed with home. Last week she tells me that she had an affair. It lasted under a month. It was with her employee. I thought she was telling me we were having another kid. So I was shocked. So I don't know what options that I have in any way. Will I continue to automatically the primary caregiver? Can I get any spousal support? I have no clue what to do or even my options at this point. I am still I guess in shock. I have not made any decisions on anything yet. She wants to stay together. It was a mistake. She loves me. So, to add to the wonderful situation that my wife put us in, her employee, the affair one, his wife found out. He resigned. Number 2 weeks or anything, just resigned. His wife called to tell on my wife. She was given the choice to resign or wait until an investigation was done, and then probably be fired. She has a government job, so resignation was the option. So now I haven't worked in 6 years. I currently am still primary caregiver to a 1 and 3-year-old. My wife cheated at work and lost her job and our insurance. Forget the emotional stuffs. Yes, I'm devastated and all that jazz. I have no time to deal with that. My only thought is I need to get back to work now. Then childcare comes. We only have 16 years left paying on the house. It's at a 1.7 interest rate. In my mind it'd be hard to part with that deal. She wants to keep the house no matter what, for the kids. We have land, creek, and less than 30 minutes from downtown. House has doubled in value in 5 years. I told her it just isn't an option. She wanted 3 houses so she and I could alternate living at the original house with the kids and have our own home to go back to. We are broke, for your information. She says that she will live with her parents and I can stay in the house with the kids and she will pay the mortgage and bills. I foresee issues with this. I'm sorry to not have asked more specific questions. Any legal suggestions or other helpful thoughts would help, please. It's been a rough week of crying and changing diapers. I've lost the ability to get the few sweet hours of sleep that this kids let me have. I've lost shy of 20 pounds. It's been rough and I'm guessing it's gonna get much worse. The only thing that I feel I can do right now is keep those kids happy and safe. Wife is trying to find a job, crying non-stop because it really was her dream job. I'm trying to get a resume together. Wife is regretful. Doesn't want to lose me. She offered to quit her job before she knew she would be fired. We are in Ohio for law stuffs. Thanks for reading. Sorry for typos. Tears and touch screens, you know. Fourth story. Me 32M, GF 37F once in open relationship, feeling unfulfilled. What should I do? The situation is obviously more complex than words can describe, but I'll try to be as concise and neutral as possible. My girlfriend 37F has recently told me, 32M, that she wanted an open relationship because she is not feeling fulfilled sexually. She thinks having sex with other men will fill her sexual needs that I cannot provide. I understood that this has been on her mind for a while in our 6 years relationship, and currently, sex is not great between us, partially because of life's hardships, but we forgot how to take care of each other sometimes, no matter how much I try. But she is not trying either. I suggest new things but she turns them down. I ask what she would like to try but she does not tell me much. She tells me she feels trapped sexually, but it is like I cannot do anything right. I want to improve on being more sensual and try new things, only if she could let me. So she suggested an open relationship. I am very reluctant about it overall because I would be hurt by it. If she sleeps with another person, I would be hurt, as I think it would happen if I sleep with another woman. She suggested I slept with other women, and I asked how she would feel about it, and she told me she would be fine. I feel conflicted about it because she exhibited semi-jealous behavior in the past towards women I met through diverse means in the past. Nothing sexual in any way. And I can't stop feeling like she is not telling me truth towards how she would react. But she told me she would find it funny or flattered if she saw a woman flirting in front of her. We had some discussion about movies on the subject and she is adamant that all human beings can be polyamorous. And I told her that it's not always so simple. Sometimes love and sex are together and cannot easily be independent. She spilled the beans on the fact that she was texting past exes or sex encounters recently, and I think that might be why she brought this subject up. One of the guys she texted asked her if she wanted sex, knowing she was with me, and is supposedly in an open relationship. I think this idea of open relationship might not be coming out of nowhere. She also broke down in tears that she loves me to death, need me and does not want to lose me, but that she is making sacrifices by not sleeping with whom she once is when she was single. She also realized that with some of these sexual encounters with men, she wanted relationships, and they only wanted sex, and that this sort of rejection pain, that she lived as well in her childhood, keeps coming to her as comfort because it is all she knows. These guys she is texting included. I told her I would need to think about how I feel and what I will do about it, but I asked her for the honest truth, no matter how harsh. I am not 100% sure if she will be honest with me, but if I learn it from other means than her, I will most likely not be able to forgive her. In context, her life is currently hard as she lost her job. Relationships with her family is difficult. But I am here to support her as much as I can and she is happy about what I do for her. But there is always that little afterthought in her mind, even though her moral compass is telling her it's wrong. We have a small house which we renovate ourselves, mostly, and a cat. I mostly wanted your input on my situation. 6 years is not something I want to end on a split decision if I can help it. But if a difficult decision is needed, I'll do it. What would do in my place?